What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be going over the Sony ZV-E10 and if it's still worth it in 2022. So we'll hop right into it. This camera goes for around $700 USD and about $1,200 to $1,300 here in Australia. So it's a pretty good price for some of the features that it has. It shoots 4K up to 30 frames per second, which is pretty crazy for a little camera like this. It does shoot higher frame rates, however, you're gonna have to drop down to 1080p. And the 1080p in this camera looks a bit soft to me, so I like to stick with the 4K. It's a great vlogging camera because you get the flip out screen, which that's pretty good for Sony. I know Sony is kind of late to the little flippy screen game. Canon's been on it for a little while. So that's a real plus for me. I know some people aren't super set on the flip screens. They like the tilt up screens, but I much prefer these, so good on you, Sony. The autofocus in this camera is actually pretty good as well. It's not up to the newer camera standards, but it's pretty good. It does a decent job, and most of the time you're not going to miss focus with the autofocus in this camera. Another thing that is epic with this camera is it has a mic jack, which actually, being honest, when I got this camera I didn't even realize it had a mic jack. I just had the little fluffy thing and thought that was gonna have to be the audio. So the fact that I can plug an external microphone in this thing, that bumps it up a few levels for me. And another thing that's pretty insane about the ZV-E10 is it offers S-Log 2 and 3. I don't know if they have an S-Log 1, I'm pretty sure they don't. I'm new to the Sony game, so don't smite me. Now, I've seen some people shoot in S-Log 3 with this camera. However, I think I would just stick with S-Log 2 because it is an 8-bit camera. And usually for S-Log 3, you want a 10-bit 422 camera. So I shoot S-Log 2 and it looks great. However, I have seen examples with S-Log 3 and it did look really good. So I guess you'd have to play around with it and see what works, and I guess see how far you push your colors. But typically I would stick with S-Log 2 for a camera like this. But again, insane that it even has S-Log 2 and S-Log 3. And I think most Sonys actually offer S-Log, even if the cameras can't handle it. So I think that's something Canon should do. I think Canon should incorporate C-Log into all of their cameras. The ZV-E10 offers a new product showcase mode, which is pretty epic. So for my A7 IV that's recording me right now, in order to have something in focus, I need to put it over my eyes because I have eye autofocus on. However, you can have eye autofocus on with this camera and put a product in the frame without covering your eyes, and it'll focus on that product. So that's really nice for any kind of people that are making product review videos. It's something that I hope that the Sony A7 IV and all the newer cameras get as well, because it'd be pretty helpful for this video. I could have the camera down here and not in front of my face. But yeah, Sony is a bit funny with updating some of their newer cameras with some of the latest features. But that's another discussion for another day. Photos with this camera are great as well. It offers a 24 megapixel sensor, which is more than my old Canon R6, which I find a bit funny that the Canon R6 only had 20 megapixels. Then again, that's still plenty of megapixels. And yeah, this has more than that. So that's a plus. So you're gonna get real tack sharp photos. And you know, if you put a good lens on there, most people probably wouldn't be able to tell that you're shooting with a sub $1,000 camera. So some things that I'm not a fan of is the LCD screen. As much as I love the flippy LCD feature, the LCD screen, I don't know, it just looks a bit off when I'm shooting photos. It seems like it's a bit too bright, or my photos look overexposed when they're not. Now, this may just be me not knowing how to set the LCD up properly. I don't know. So it could be user error, but that's just something I've noticed with my camera. It seems a bit weird on the LCD screen. However, it is great to have a flippy screen, so just want to keep promoting that because I want Sony to keep putting flippy screens in their cameras. One thing that really stands out and that is pretty disgusting about this camera is the rolling shutter. It's bad. It's bad. If you're shooting in 4K, that is. I guess if you drop down to 1080p, that kind of solves the rolling shutter issue. But like I said, the 1080p is a bit too soft for my eyes, so I like to shoot in 4K. So usually I have this camera locked off on a tripod for BTS stuff. But if you are gonna vlog with it, you could probably get away with that as well. But if you're using this camera to do like action sports and a lot of whipping and panning, and you need to shoot in 4K, I can't recommend this, because rolling shutter is just it's just bad. It's bad. It also comes with this feature called the soft skin effect, and it looks like, how do I put it? I guess it looks like an Instagram filter, one of those really bad Instagram filters. Yeah, it doesn't look good, so I wouldn't recommend using that. I guess if you aren't like really professional with editing and you need to have softer skin, then I guess it works. But yeah, it just doesn't look that good. But I guess if you're a beauty channel, maybe it works. I don't know. I wouldn't really recommend it though. So overall, my thoughts: is this camera worth it in 2022? I would say definitely. If this is in your price range, if something like the A7 IV is a bit out of your price range and you want to get a nice looking image with a fair price, this is probably the way to go. Like I said, shoots 4K, looks really nice with S-Log2, so you're already getting some professional features in such a affordable small camera. Plus it's really lightweight. Really good for vlogging, really good if you don't want to carry around a big camera rig, or if you want even a camera B. That's the reason why I chose this, was for a camera B for my A7 IV. I just wanted something that was affordable. I didn't really have the money to go out and get another A7 IV, and I thought the image on this was pretty good, and that most of the time I could match it with my A7 IV. So I thought it was a really good option for a B cam for me. However, it wouldn't be an A cam in my personal opinion for me, because I do like using S-Log3 for the dynamic range and the 10-bit color out of the A7 IV. But that's just my personal preference. If you don't need those kind of features, this is really good for the money, guys. And like I said before, if you're gonna do any kind of crazy sports stuff and need to shoot it in 4K, then I definitely wouldn't recommend this camera. But if that's not you, pretty much every other case scenario, I would recommend it. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap the video up here. If you liked it, if you found it helpful, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. We just hit 2,000 subscribers, so I'm super stoked about that. Thank you, guys, I really appreciate it. And if you wanna see some more on the ZV-E10, stick around, because we're gonna make some more videos about it, and maybe make a video on my settings for the camera and how I get the most cinematic image out of it. So if you got a ZV-E10, if you're thinking about it, then yeah, subscribe, and I got some content about that coming. So once again, thank you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace. Everybody does the peace. I gotta throw the shaka. Shaka bra. All right.